The main reason we wanted them up is because like we do new animation on the internet, and Jack and Dean used to be like minor child stars, and they had a short-run animated series.
But right now, like my most recent animation, I was in Astif Movie 4 by Tom Scott. I was in that.
Yeah, they were the Animated Adventures of Jack and Dean in 2004 on CBBC.
Yeah, produced by Masamo Studios. Yeah, so we want to talk a little bit about the differences between the old model of traditional animation and the sort of new distribution platforms for and opportunities for animation.
Well, let's jump right into that. Let's get right into it. So, since you obviously have been animating for a long time now, how do you view traditional animation, kind of the mechanism for traditional media animation compared to YouTube and new animation?
Well, it's the one thing with traditional animation is it's incredibly expensive, and there's nobody in the world who would spend $1 million to make a cartoon about two llamas wearing hats talking to each other. So we're incredibly lucky having a sort of new technology available to make animation for nearly $0, which is about what an animation about llamas with hats is worth.
New versus old? New versus old?
What he said, except with the stuff that I make.
But so why does traditional animation cost so much money? I mean, because you say that you all this stuff that you produce now, you produce on a budget and in a much more constrained amount of money. How are you able to accomplish what you've been able to accomplish without spending the amount of money that traditionally requires?
Computers.
The advent of the computer.
Yeah, the invention of the computer, the microchip. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, so do you when you create an episode, where does that become? Like, obviously you have your idea, and then how do you see that to the execution?
Oh, when an idea comes about, it's essentially writing a script, recording kind of a radio play version that's just the dialogue without sound effects. And then the characters are drawn and animated over top of the dialogue, and then the sound effects are added. It's a really kind of easy process now.
Nice. So what is, I guess, day-to-day like? Like, do you spend more time writing? Do you spend more time?
No, it's almost all of my time is animating, which is incredibly, still kind of tedious.
Yeah? How long does it take you to animate a single Llamas With Hats?
Oh, Llamas With Hats. Well, Llamas With Hats is easy because
it's just in standstill area.
Yeah, this is kind of. I'm really happy the series took off because they don't move, which makes the animation part of the animation incredibly simple.
Does anyone else have anything to add about animation? Just
My answers are all going to be similar because even though I do clay animation and he does drawing cartoon animations, it's basically the same. So I don't know what to add to that.
I think it's incredibly interesting that when did The Lion King come out? A long time ago, wasn't it?
I was going to say, anybody got a 94? Yeah? The 90s. Is that before you were born?
Yeah, I just think it's interesting how animating The Lion King would be a painstaking effort. If someone had approached the animators of The Lion King and said, in the next 10 years, one of the biggest animations on the internet will be about 3 unicorns. I think they'll kill themselves.
Oh no!
No, absolutely. It's when you think about theater ticket prices and how much that movie made, the total amount of viewers was probably still lower than the animation that I took 3 days to make. It's completely an unfair system now. It's better to be born now if you're an animator.
It only took you 3 days to do Charlie the Unicorn?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
good voice too. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what you were doing animation on YouTube very early on. It seems like animation's kind of taking off on YouTube now. A lot of different people have different animation projects. Like Maker Studios just did Animonster. Are you surprised, I guess, first question, are you surprised that animation is kind of coming into a bigger community on YouTube?
No, I mean it's animation's always been popular. It's just on the internet, especially. Like we've just gotten to the point where the technology is good enough that it's relatively easy to make, and if you're an animator, it's now a viable outlet instead of like it really wasn't a job to animate for yourself 5 years ago.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So where do you see then with this whole community setting up around animation that you're obviously kind of grandfather of and forefront of? Where do you see animation being on YouTube now and in the future?
I see it expanding, except it's slightly more difficult to build up an audience with animation because it's not really viable to release a new animated film twice a week.
If you had to release a new video twice a week.
I mean, I could do it with llamas because they don't move.
Yeah.
That's any character.
But that's just the animation part. The whole idea is everything. It would be impossible.
It's the same idea for every episode we do. There's two llamas, one of them is angry and kills things.
So true. Does anyone have any questions for them from the audience? Please.
Not so much, like I said, it's a question, but it's crazy that you're here, because I didn't even know you were on YouTube. I used to watch you on Newgrounds back in the day, back when Newgrounds was just a place for cartoon boobs.
It's still for that. So I still visit for that reason.
How do you like transition from Newgrounds to YouTube?
I like YouTube a lot more because Newgrounds was around before YouTube, and it was mostly a Flash animation website. And I always got a lot of backlash because clay animation isn't Flash animation. It's just stuff that I animated that I would import into Flash and then export as a Flash file. So I feel like I belong on YouTube. So a lot more. What? How did I cheat? Basically, I cheated, yeah. So yeah, I like YouTube a lot more because it feels like I feel like home finally.
Well, that's good.
I actually have a question for Jack and Dean. Only 4 of the episodes of your show aired. I'm wondering what happened to Timungus.
Sorry?
What would happen to Timungus?
He found his kids.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. They're all right now.
Wonderful. I'm a huge Anglophile, so that was one of my favorite shows.
You're a what?
Anglophile.
What's that mean?
It means I love the English.
You love the English?
I love the English.
Is that a real thing?
You're in English.
I am in English, yeah.
You're in English and I love you.
Isn't it just... I'm not surprised that this is the weirdest panel by far.
I say collaboration.
We could bring back the animated adventures of Jack and Dean.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, do we have any more questions from the audience? If not, then I think can we please give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Wonderful last minute animation.